What does science and philosophy have in common? Both the fields are in pursuit a continuous inquiry to study the nature of reality, time, space, consciousness, and beyond. Despite being such varied approaches, they both turn out to be complementary for us when it comes to understanding ourselves and our world. It's so fascinating that time and again, groundbreaking theories and discoveries have found parallels, in fact, drawn inspiration from ancient metaphysical philosophies and spiritual reflections. Minds like Tesla, Niels Bohr, Chanakya, Oppenheimer have been deeply influenced by these ideas. Even in the modern quantum physics, the study of the microscopic world of matter and energy, there have been theories that are potentially challenging the foundation of classical physics. The holographic universe theory, the quantum entanglement, or the quantum interconnectedness, they all mirror one key concept of non-duality that comes from Vedanta, known to be among the oldest written ancient sacred script. Okay, and we are talking about 1800, 1900, before Common Era. Vedanta, end of the Vedas, aims to provide a comprehensive understanding what is reality, reality of self, of the concept of connectedness, of oneness, and liberation, etc. Within this Vedanta, there is a concept called Drishti Shrishti, which literally translates to creation through vision. It suggests that the world is created through the act of perception. The world is not fixed, the reality is not objective, it's a projection that is being created through the act of our perception, something that we are actively manifesting through our consciousness, right? Basically, it all boils down to the fact that reality is a story that we tell ourselves moment by moment. Hello and welcome to a fresh new episode on It's a Trip Collective with me, Vritti, where we are on a journey of unfolding the layers of human experience. Today, we are talking about how we don't see things the way they are, we see things the way we are. What we perceive as reality, it's an active, dynamic, fluid process, an intricate dialogue between the inside world and the world around us. It's like the front door of our consciousness, filter that absorbs, interprets, and projects information for us. And this doorway obviously isn't as straightforward as it seems. It's never a pure transmission, it is always a translation. Our brain is constantly doing some behind the scenes work, processing and categorizing vast amounts of information for us. It's pretty crazy how much is going on without us even realizing it. Have you ever noticed when you learn a new word, like sonder or something, you start seeing it and noticing it in books or in conversations or in social media posts more frequently than you did before? Or maybe you're planning to buy a car and you start seeing that model parked around the corner or while you're waiting during traffic. It's not that the car or the word has suddenly become more popular or that your perception has changed. It's just our brain starts prioritizing and categorizing information based on your recent interest or focus. And I learned that this is called the frequency illusion effect. Your mind is like a river, not confined within a landscape, but something that can dig its own path, move through mountains, cut through rocks, create new streams, and change its entire route. Your mind, your consciousness is not a fixed thing, right? It can change, it can grow, it can evolve, it can navigate through obstacles, it can completely transform its own journey. Your mind creates stories that feel absolutely real. The reality in our heads more vivid than what actually happened. We take our perception as the absolute truth. Walk around completely convinced that our version of reality is the correct one. There is a certainty to it, there is a psychological rigidity. But what we perceive is not necessarily reflecting the true nature of the situation. This information is filtered through our personal biases, through our expectations, the stories we tell ourselves, our past experiences, most importantly, the emotional state that we are in that moment. Basically, all these things shape our subjective point of view. It is not technically clear thinking, right? This affects the way we react, our decision-making abilities. Not saying that we must abandon our perspective, but recognizing that it is one interpretation among many possible ones. We can try to hold our version lightly and see that there is a kaleidoscope of realities. The humbling fact that your reality is not the reality, it is just one of yours. Keep our doors and windows of perception clean, open and clean, accepting of new ideas, new point of views, and free of judgment. Why? Because it reduces our suffering. And we need that now more than ever in this distorted mirage of the digital age. The information that we cook inside of us is the very foundation of our existence, and it's constantly evolving. It must. That is the cardinal rule of nature. Imagine walking into a party feeling confident and warm. People sense that energy, and they are naturally drawn to it. Your open and positive vibe becomes a magnet, creating the very connection you desire. The way you view yourself that day literally shapes the social reality around you. When I'm convinced that somebody dislikes me, I act differently around them. I might act defensive or cold. And guess what? That might actually make them like me less. My perception created that reality. If we are constantly triggered and bothered about hows and the whys and why did somebody say that or do that, that could become a big waste of energy and can throw us off balance very easily. But the good thing is that our perception is our filter, not our fate. If our mind is like a garden, we can't decide what seeds come and land, but we get to decide what seeds do we want to water and which ones not. You can redirect that energy again and again back to your center. And I know that that feels like a lot of responsibility, to have the patience or the will to want to see things the way they are, to have unwavering self-belief and resilience, feeling like a proton, happy when things around you are difficult. Deep inside, what's going on is, why can't things be simple? Why does it have to be so hard? When will someone recognize how much I'm carrying? There's anger, pain, disappointment, confusion, and all sorts of feelings. And sometimes it's just hard. Listen, that's okay. These moments of doubt and fatigue are just a part of human life. No one is an exception. There is nothing wrong with that. It does not signify weakness or failure or lack of discipline, nor does it mean that you have to start from scratch. We cannot judge ourselves for having these moments of vulnerability. These are just the ebbs in the flow. It's also just how nature works. Both emotions and time are always transforming. Allow it to organically flow, because acceptance is the only band-aid that this feeling needs. Just telling us that we need to catch a break, or something is going on at a deeper level that is waiting to be noticed. Cry if you want to. Listen to some cathartic music. Maybe trying to find a sense of humor hidden in this situation. I'm not saying ignore or override the feeling, but accepting it and detaching from it. Maybe saying, I'm having a human experience. I am not this feeling, and there is a reason for this to happen that I'm not able to see right now. Accepting allows us to move from resisting and questioning that to, okay, that's how I'm feeling. Now what? Do I need to change how I feel, or do I want to sit with it for some time and deal with this when I want to? And let me tell you, there is no right answer to this. We all have our own individual ways of engaging with our feelings and our thoughts. What's important is to center ourselves before we indulge into overthinking or taking impulsive actions. It really helps us in moving from a flight, fright, fight mode to a state of calm, to a state of neutrality. And that's the space that we want to be, because that helps us shifting our anxiety and discomfort to, I will deal with this. I don't know how, but I'm going to get through this. A state that we can anchor on whenever we need to, knowing that it exists. And this acceptance gets better with practice. Initially it might feel forced or ineffective, because sitting with uncomfortable feelings is never easy, right? But eventually it's like a muscle which gets better with practice, and you start automatically creating space between your emotion and your response. Not because the feelings are less intense, but because your capacity to be aware and to be kinder towards yourself has grown. It seems hard, but bad days are also a part of a good and sexy life. What helps me, and you can say this too, I am just having a human experience. Having this as a fundamental base validation in our mind, it becomes easier to cut to a macro view and acts as a reminder that I'm simply a human being having a feeling that millions have felt before me. We didn't come here to be comfortable and happy all the time, right? We are here to embody, to realize and expand from the beautiful complexities of human life. It's a trip. Just a sense of this awareness is a great start. No matter what's going on, please trust yourself that you will find a way. You always have, and you always will. Let your perception be a source of your empowerment and not a limitation. Thank you for joining me today. Please remember that you're not alone and that you're destined to be supported by your Creator. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who might need this reminder. And please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if there's something that you'd like to say, your feedback. I am always looking forward to it. Until next time, ciao.